Yeah, I'm coming. Kid Ninja's already on. I'm just gonna. I can't believe I'm recording myself peeing. It sucks. I'm recording, but I'm peeing. Real fun. No, I already had one. Thank you. That is toilet paper. We're just gonna try it like that. There we go. Okay, it's gonna be just fine.
The song? I should sign it on my phone, right?
Sure. Cool. Awesome. What's going on, guys?
What's up? What's going on, Jim? What's up, brother?
You Long here. Just posted that new You Long video. We got Elixir here. Oh my God. Hold on, I'm not sure if you guys can even hear me. Can I turn the volume down? Oh my God, man, this is great.
Yeah, so brother, I'm gonna be I'll be driving a little bit, and then I think I'll stay on for about a half hour or so.
Awesome.
I gotta get this guy a haircut.
All right, man. We haven't seen Elixir in a long time too, and Kid Ninja. I don't think we've ever communicated outside of some chat on what's going on. Kid Ninja, hey, like Kid. If you haven't seen Kid Ninja stuff yet, I remember that we found Kid Ninja. You tagged us in this great video of you on a big lawn doing some spinning kicks in the air, something like that. And I just remember that it was kind of like an iconic image. I'm like, oh man, like I don't even think you were officially a part of the cast yet. I was just like, whoever this guy is needs to join the cast because this is awesome. So it's great to see you here, man. Everybody. So, Elixir, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad I could make it. I'm sorry I wasn't there yesterday. I kind of caught the tail end via your IG live. But I'm great. Pretty fully recovered from the Rona.
Oh wow.
And yeah, happy to be here.
Well, so happy to see everybody here, and we'll be messaging out too. We're gonna just start because of these things. We want to have them more regularly now. I wanted to recap with you guys because I don't think any of you were on the Warner Media panel that we did a few weeks ago. So that was pretty profound for JFH, for the whole community, because we united a bunch of heroes from across the nation for that one panel, and everyone kind of talked a little bit about their hero. And it was just awesome. We had cast members from just multiple stages and years of JFH, and we're building this thing out. The vision is to have a cinematic universe that is our cinematic universe, that where we can kind of tie together our stories and our heroes that we create into something that's larger than ourselves. So I personally see JFH as becoming like the next WWE. Like I think this is going to be really awesome. Because that WWE has been around for like 30 something years, and you know, it's a long story that just keeps on going. I think that we have the, you know, a foundation to do something similar, except for like the social media filmmaking kind of next level generation. So anyway, I'm just so happy to be here with you guys, and this is really more about like a community forum. That was one of the things that the heroes were requesting on the JFH War Media panel. So before we get into just a little bit more about um, what you guys really want to see from the community, I want to just recap a little bit more on just some other things. Just recap a little bit more about just some other things that we still have going on from the Warner Media panel. We have a whole bunch of prizes from that panel. So if anybody wants, these prizes are essentially Blu-rays. So I don't have a Blu-ray player, but you know, when I get my another console that has that, if you have a game console home and you use Blu-ray and you want one, then you know well, we have a whole bunch of Blu-rays. So if you're interested in any of those, we have like Bruce Lee, Batman, Arrow, Blade, like all these different things that came from Warner Media's Urban Action Showcase. So they're all special editions. They're all for our cast members. So if you guys want any, please DM with your address and we'll send them out this week, because we've been waiting to send out everybody else who's DM'd and requested.
I'm gonna definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because for Halloween I even got myself a Bruce Lee jumpsuit. So.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, the Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon like special edition is pretty. It's pretty cool, man. So I was like, wow, like, if I could only play this on something. So, so if you have one, I definitely recommend it. We'll just send it out to you.
All right, cool.
What else? Yeah, oh, there's also some congrats that we're gonna post that are for all the. You know, we won Best Web Series at the Warner Media Urban Action Showcase a few weeks ago. So. There's these amazing, wonderful congratulations from like Tony Jaa and from all these other like actors that we got that I haven't posted yet. So I'm going to post that so everybody that's a part of this cast can actually like see that there's these congrats videos from all these wonderful like world-class martial arts talent and actors, Kelly Hu and the guy who plays what's his name, Slade, Deathstroke from DC thing. So really, really cool. And yeah, outside of that, you know, this is an open forum, and I want to just kind of talk to I think all across the board the heroes about what you guys might want out of JFH, more of what you want, and what's helpful for character creation, story development, and actually making it, shooting it on your phones. Yesterday we did our hero pose challenge walkthrough, which is about 30 minutes long, and we did that on Zoom so that anybody that's going to do our first challenge, all these journey challenges, all amount, if you do 15 small little videos, they actually cut together to make a mini origin story movie for you, for your character. And it doesn't necessarily have to tie into the JFH story. There are some challenges where you have the opportunity to do that, but it's really more so about your heroic character and how to put that together. So each one of these challenges is an incremental way for you to build out that story. So that's one of the things that we're doing, because that was requested from the last meetup, is a little bit more of walkthroughs. But I want to keep this question, you know, always something that's at the top of our list of like, what else can we do for the community to bring more value for your guys? So does anyone have any thoughts there?
So, hi, I want to jump in real quick, guys. How you doing? This is Yulong, in character, and out of character, I kind of have the same lifestyle. I was thinking, you know, there's a lot of ways that we can collaborate with each person. Every cast member can collaborate with each other. Like, let's say we can write like a mini script of like maybe a 2-page semi-dialogue, semi-action, where part of one person, 2 people will be recording with each other, and that'll tie into another person's story. So let's say another character would be like making a call, you know, on their earpiece to any of the other characters, and then that person would record that dialogue to the person calling them. So you can do this back and forth thing. So, you know, one scene would be the person calling, the other scene would be the person responding, and it'll just go back and forth. Like, yeah, I'm over here, somewhere around there, whatever the plot is, whatever the idea is. We can tie each other into each other's stories, or even just journeys or missions or whatever, and we can make something happen like that. Just as we can't really meet up in person, or some people don't want to meet up in person right around now. So there's ways that we can just like interconnect with each other by recording part of each other's stories for each other's, ideas. Think about it.
I'm digging that.
I love that. I think that's great. I think that's. Is there anything that because you mentioned like kind of script writing, script process stuff. Is there anything in particular that, like a particular example that you're like, hey, you know what? Let's get on IG chat and actually like talk through a scene and then plan to shoot it. Is that kind of what you mean? Or
yeah, you ever see these things that are trending on like TikTok of people like punching each other and then they shoot to the next screen and you have the other person getting hit and then responding with another shot, right? So, right, you've seen those things. So what if we did that with just dialogue, right? And or part action, something like that, where we could be running from like a corner to the next corner. Let's say it was me and I'll record myself running or whatever the hell it is. And then it will flip right to you being at that spot I'm supposed to meet you at, but I never get there because, obviously we can't meet up together in that shot. So it's like I run into difficulties. The story goes back to you if it's your story, and it's just shoot back and forth. So let's say we wrote a few people wrote together a script. Could be short, maybe a 5-minute, 10-minute video, and we can shoot scenes from where we're at, collaborating our concept to meet the idea of the script. I hope that's the right wording. And then we just shoot our parts to hopefully make these pieces fit so it can create a nice scene and continue with the idea, the plot, or the mission, or whatever it is.
And so that's I love that idea. And I think that I think there are a few ways to do it. Some are easier than others. And I think that, one of the things that we want to build and that we're working on in terms of bringing value to the community is an easier way for that type of collaboration. So I think while we work on our side of how to systematize something like that to make it really smooth, I think in the meantime we need to put a system in place or a few systems in place and kind of experiment with them on what essentially would be the best way to do that, because it sounds like if there's a scene where you guys are kind of improving, like there's a difference between an improv scene and a very scripted scene. So if we're actually scripting and you guys are actually coming up with your own original scenes that are essentially tying together your characters, I think that's kind of a conversation where whether you start talking on Instagram or on another platform, and actually start writing that scene, then you can identify the exact points at which that kind of back and forth collaboration is happening, versus something where it's like, hey, you know what, we're going to do something that's a little bit more improv. I'm going out on the street, you're going out on the street, we're both looking for, like it could be some sort of zombies or something like that, like some sort of systemic problem. When you have systemic problems versus someone who stole a purse, which is not a systemic problem. That is a singular, very localized problem for that street corner, for that neighborhood, etc. But if you're doing something that's nationwide and it's like Yulong's in Staten Island and Elixir's in Florida, because that's actually what's happening right now. How do you two guys actually collaborate on a scene? And that would normally have to deal with a systemic problem. So I think being able to identify what the problem is, if it's local versus a system, and that system is being affected in multiple areas. So in other words, New York is being affected just like Florida, etc. Just kind of clarifying that before the script writing process or even the improv process is going to help inform where that story goes. So I think that's we'll definitely make a note on that on our side. Just to help build that out with you guys. But yeah, I think in the meantime, if you identify who you guys want to collaborate with amongst each other, then you can just start, ideating and saying, hey, look, who's going to write this? Why don't we write it together? Or why don't we just go outside and play around, go back and forth and record it? Then intercut.
I think I got something actually.
Sure.
I haven't been in Justice for Hire for very long, but what if there's like something like rivals per se, not necessarily heroes versus villains, but heroes trying to always one up each other? You think that could work out?
So that's funny. Andra's laughing. She's She's waving over there. So she's our developer. So we normally talk in character and out of character. So thank you, Yulong, for stating in character. I'm Yulong. Out of character. Here's how we're going to make a scene. So that was really wonderful. So in character, Andra is in the series, and she's part of the development team that's making the real JFH, real within the cinematic universe app. Out of character, Andra's actually the person building the real life JFH app, which is essentially our way to make movies together. So we actually have a rivals function. I think Andra's going to say something, so I'm going to mute because we're out in Burbank together. So
it's fine. You can say.
We can't really hear you.
Jan, you're muted.
Oh, so thank you. So if you guys can hear me now, Kin Ninja, yes, we have a rivals function. It's in the JFH app. As soon as we can get that out to you guys, we will. But heroes absolutely will be rivaling each other, and like even competing for missions, etc. Obviously, we want to work together and do great things together. But there's also that fun competition. In my experience, in the healthiest form, pushes innovation. So I think that it's going to be really fun seeing heroes kind of compete to do good in the world and do jobs and etc. So yes, but until we actually launch that app, Kid Ninja, did you have any ideas on how we could actually get have rival scenarios going right now?
Honestly, I'm just spitballing right now. I didn't have any ideas. I was just wondering if that could be a thing, and if so, because me and Devil Shocker, we don't live in the same area, but we're pretty cool. And I was thinking about if we was to collab. I'm pretty sure we are, but I'm saying for future references, can we turn that into like a ongoing bit or part of the cinematic universe?
100%. I love Devil Shocker's stuff, though. That wrestling stuff that he does. He does like wrestling and capoeira stuff that's like amazing. But absolutely, and we actually have team functions that'll be. There are already a few teams that have developed. Evos is one of them. They're out of Illinois. And there's another one. And the name escapes me, but they're great. I know the heroes that are in it though. Nightshade's in it. I think Arachnoid's in it. Who should be on in a little bit. But yeah, so the team functions and actually you guys moving forward as teams in general is going to be a big part of the narrative. So, yeah. Any other ideas from the crew?
Hello?
Yo.
Yeah. Vengeance.
What's up? So it just popped in my head when you guys were talking about like rivals and like heroes like competing against each other. For the future, for your app, I don't know, how do you feel about maybe like a civil war, right?
Yes. And my only I'll say this. I think that we're a little bit away from a moment like that, but that's absolutely something that is especially if you followed like everything we're doing now, we're building together is completely from the ground up. But the concept of Justice for Hire is based on a comic book series, and if anyone who's read that comic book series will kind of see some of the stuff that was done there in terms of the formalization of a justice industry. And the challenges that come about with competing teams, etc. So a short answer is yes, and the more clarified is that we need to work a little bit more before we get there. But I think that we'll be able to get there and do some really fun stuff internationally with heroes, because we have some international heroes coming into the cast now too. So that'll be interesting.
On the topic of like civil wars and stuff, could there, for instance, be a chance where somebody's a hero, of course, but it actually turns out they could be like a double agent and just using like using justice for hire as a way to figure out our systems?
Absolutely, yes, on that as well. I'm so happy that so many of these comments that the answer is just yes.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that if you hold on, I've been testing the app so much that I forget that you guys only some of you tested it back in July.
I still
So
have them.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
I still have the I think it's like I still have the first time y'all released that.
Okay, so you were one of our testers. Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. So I'll say this that we've been if you remember, and pretty much anyone who's joined the cast, there is a because that's oftentimes me on Instagram sending you kind of the boilerplate instructions, which is, hey, if you're a hero or if you want to be a client, there's heroes and villains, but if you're a villain, you still have to have a hero profile, because there's not like a villain profile. So if you're a villain, that you absolutely will essentially be posing as a hero. So there are a bunch of heroes, or should I say villains, posing as heroes already that that are on there in the cast chats right now. But additionally, you also, we were talking about this yesterday, and we have Captain Darkness, who's on right now. He spoke a little bit yesterday out of character. He spoke about having two different characters. So we talked about him as an actor, as a performer, as a creator, playing two different roles. So he's actually, if not three, he's got, he transitioned his hero character from one name to another, which happens all the time. And then he also has villain characters that he's been creating for the community to essentially give a little bit more, just a little bit more texture to the hero, villain kind of experience. So he's on here now. I know that he had an announcement at some point today too, and he put out a couple more videos, which is great yesterday. So thank you for that, Captain Darkness.
Oh, he's not here today. I'm not here. Good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon.
Hello.
At least I made a special appearance saying she got darkness being kind. At least I make a special appearance. My name is Necros. You can call me Necros. That's all you need to call me. It's a pleasure seeing all you heroes in action. In the pandemonium, look like it's a fool. What a pity. It's a shame, a shame, a shame.
I have to say, out of character, that last weekend I watched V for Vendetta, and so I'm very happy to see that mask.
You're very welcome.
And I say an announcement, because we have Sensei Claus on here, and Sensei Claus and AK Wonder's on here as well. AK Wonder's mother made, and we made this announcement yesterday, but she made a whole bunch of gloves that she wanted to be given to people in need that needed like very, very warm gloves. So she handmade these gloves. So she sent them to Sensei Claus in New York. And so Sensei Claus now has all these gloves. And, I'll say this, we never would ask anybody for any challenge to put yourselves in danger ever. But Sensei Claus has offered to actually go out and hand out gloves to people in need. And there are some other heroes that are going to be joining him. So if you're in an area where like you see people and you might want to give them stuff or assist Sensei Claus, he is here. And Sensei Claus, if you want to say a few words, but he's handing out some gloves, so it's happening.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? All right. So stories about what Jan mentioned, they got the package the other day. I'm going to be giving them out. I got about 20 pairs. So should take about an afternoon, give or take. They're very nicely made. If you guys want to cut away, I could come back with some, show you. Because, Mrs. Kelly did a great job on them. I figure I'm going to go around probably Manhattan, social distance, do it safely, all that, and just ask a few of the people I hand the gloves out to do a quick thank you video. Nothing complicated, like 30 seconds, just to kind of get the message out there. And yeah, we'll be doing the whole Sensei Claus thing with the outfit and all that because, you know, a bit of a meme. Makes things go a little bit more viral. So if anybody else wants to do anything that way, let me know. If you're in the city, we could collaborate. If not, you know, I'm sure you all know how to do your own thing.
Thank you, Sensei.
Cheers.
Did I just cut somebody off who's going to talk?
I was gonna say, if anybody has any questions or wants to get in touch with me, you can get to me on Cast Chat, or if you have my info, that's fine too.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, again, we're being very, very conscious and cautious due to obviously the pandemic, but we also want to make sure that you know, we're building character, and we're building characters and stories together, but we're part of building characters, building your own character and actually using it to affect the real world in a like positive and productive way. So that's a big part of the JFH mission. So thank you again, Sensei Claus, for offering to do this. And I think Juice is going to be joining you in New York. So he said he's ready when you are. So so thank you. And but in terms of again, like just anything else we could be doing or thinking about for the community, any other ideas that anyone had that you might want to bring up?
Yeah,
oh,
I just come over to
yeah,
you?
yeah. We have AK Wonder here actually, so she just raised her hand. But fortunately, we're next to each other.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring up another idea of you know, when we're creating content or doing missions and challenges. I come from, just speaking out of character, but somewhat in character. I'm still developing my character, but I come from a background of politics, and it was always frustrating because I felt like I was coming up with all these great ideas, and the conversion rate between ideating and educating yourself and then giving people information and them actually doing something with that information was low. So it kind of discouraged me, and I ended up going into journalism, and I experienced the same problem covering entertainment. We see all these inspirational movies, we're educated by something in the movie, and the conversion rate between watching the movie and actually doing something with that knowledge is also low. So when we're thinking about creating content and going on missions, making sure to have a theme that someone can take action or actually do something after feeling so inspired, feeling so educated, or being illuminated in a new perspective, kind of making sure that we can attach something to that so that people can actually do something. That's something that's like really inspires me about JFH, and I'd love to kind of, as a group moving forward and more of these meetings, just always be thinking about that. Thanks, guys.
I
If
had
I
some,
could,
I had
oh, you
something
go
to
ahead.
bring to the table. Sorry, I'm late. I had something to bring to the table. Since I do a lot of cosplay, and I do create more. I create more and more than I usually do. It's for people having trouble creating like a solid character or building upon something or transitioning. I think there should be more like tutorials on how to transition from the character you created to a different one. Think about it as a time skip. You see it in manga, anime, time skip. Like the maturity of your character, the transition. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone to play a different character. Or if you want, you can play 2 different characters or 3, whatever you want. It's all about taking that risk to jump over what you're really comfortable about and learning how to step outside the box and create more.
That's a really interesting comment. The time skip, essentially cut to a few. I want to make sure I'm understanding this properly. Are you saying that you're seeking some form of tutorial or guidance for a character?
Mostly, yes.
That essentially allows you to skip from time in terms of the development, because we're all people and people take time to change. But when you watch a film, time you're in film time. So like it cut to 2 years later, 10 years later, and that character's gone through a massive change. Are you essentially saying that you're looking for something that helps people to make the transition between different time periods?
Yes.
And okay, so yes on that one, but it also sounded like you mentioned something about becoming or
Different characters.
different characters.
Like creating more characters, more development into your character.
Okay, so
Like
more deeply
transition.
developed
Like
character.
I play two villains. I play a hero. Actually, anti-hero. So it's like training yourself how to step outside the box from what you really already know to what you don't know. Taking that next step to build upon another character, which you feel solid and comfortable with. And filming is something, as an art form, it's very fun. And I know people that get a little tense and terrified of filming. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. It's like an internal struggle. But I said, why don't you turn that internal struggle into something more memorable? Make that internal struggle into your character versus you fighting it. It's like changing the narrative around and trying to build upon that internal struggle, transition that internal struggle, and turn it into a solid character or a villain. Yeah.
I get everything you're saying, and I think that's what you're talking about is actually very much the reason that we started doing separating between the concept of missions and challenges. You've heard us talk for like the last year probably about missions. And missions are we differentiate them because missions are really more so about stuff that directly affects the JFH world, the story, the shared cinematic universe, and or something that affects the real world, like Sensei Claus going out and handing out gloves. Like that's a mission. But challenges are very similar. We differentiate them because we're saying, okay, well, this is actually about building inner character. And when it comes to you talking about the internal struggles that even a creator might have getting in front of a camera and feeling good about themselves and being able to express themselves, in my experience at the very least, there are steps for you to go through to actually to feel comfortable revealing an aspect of yourself that you might find tough to share. So because of that, these journey challenges, which again, we did the walkthrough yesterday for challenge number 1, which is just your hero pose. You know, it's kind of like a low lift kind of, hey, this is me in my setting. That's the first of 15 challenges that as you go through, and we'll show you guys, I'll pull it up in a second and then we'll just put it out. Hero challenge journey challenge number 2, because again, there's 15 of these and each one of them is going to help with exactly the thing you're asking about, which is essentially how to identify the moment of challenge, even if you're feeling something really, really internally that's like, hey, how do I express this? And we actually go through with direction, some suggestions of how you can show yourself in that way. And it's for you. It's not, you don't even have to share it with the JFH community. It's 100% for you. If you are, we would be delighted if you share it with us and we can all like connect together and on this, but it's really 100% for you, for your own ability to tell your story, because the greatest story that's ever been told is your story. So it's like, we need to really like drill down on that. Elixir?
I know stories are meant to build community, and we as a community should build upon another community. It's, it's like the pay it forward to another community. I do a lot of volunteering for the LGBT community, and I pay it forward to them because I'm in the community itself, so I serve. And I do a lot of that. But it's important that the videos and the content we make is meant to build a great community full of meaningful connections between other people, as we all connected in one way. And these challenges, these missions are very, very impressive and very interesting. But if we just look for something to up the ante, like give it more excitement. The reason why I play two villains is to bring a little bit of excitement. You've seen one already. Now you've seen the other. The one that you saw last time, this time was the other one. So bringing that level of energy,
Yeah, the catalyzing force.
Raw energy. It's more than you think. It's raw energy. Bringing that out to the table, showing it off, not being afraid to share your experiences, your challenges, your struggles. That's all about connecting with other people. It's building community. We build off of that. So how can we build it how can a villain bring that to the table when you have it on the app? As I know about villains too many times, I watch them every day. Plus, how can the JFH make like an organization for villains in the app? Like certain sections in the app that has the villain organization in it. Like how can villains group up to make an organization in the app?
Well,
making the job harder for the JFH.
I think that's so. Just kind of working backwards from what you just said. Yes, villains working, coming together is going to be happening. But I think one of the most important things I want to highlight of what you said is the catalyzing force, the catalyzing force for the raw energy. And I think it's really important to recognize to recognize what the service is of a villain to the hero, and vice versa. Because the villain catalyzes good oftentimes. The challenge or the systemic problem, etc., whatever that is, whether the villain is a person or the problem is a villain or the problem is a systemic one, it catalyzes the force of good to step up and do something even greater than what the status quo is. So, and that's a general tenet of storytelling. So for us to, I think what you're asking for, my personal response outside of the of like, hey, JFH is this thing we're building together, it's gonna be great, is just the reality of the last couple of years. We've been doing this together, slowly but surely, making content and tying it all together, because this has never been done before, and we are in a point where we're starting to accelerate. So I think that hopefully some of the things that you're asking for in terms of that catalyzing excitement, which I think you've been bringing as well by creating villains, etc. We're going to be able to inject more of that into the story, into the narrative community, to bring more to, which would essentially result in, on one side, more content, but on another side, more sharing, more connectivity between people, regardless of where you are in the world, because we all share a common narrative, all heroes in the same story. So I'm hoping, and that is the goal. And so I hope that we can address that. And I also want to segue to Elixir, because I know that she had her hand raised, and get some thoughts from you.
Hey, so I was listening so I had an idea about the whole character building, and as an actor, I think one of the most important gifts I got from acting classes was being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And I don't know if you have it within your network, somebody that would want to come into a group Zoom session like this and have a, community building type actors mini workshop or something like that, to piggyback off what Pierre was saying about, stepping outside of yourself. And so I'm thinking about like method acting. I've done different styles, but it's really interesting to be able to get into the different pockets of one's self and psyche, and we've all got these layers inside of them, you know, and so it might just be fun if we had one Zoom meeting for everybody that we could give some gifts of tools to put in the toolbox while people are trying to figure out how to create their characters. You don't have to be an actor to be a part of this movement, you know, but acting class has, more than me wanting to be an actor, has been therapy for me for like the whole, for you know, for so long, for like almost 10 years, you know. So acting class is really therapeutic. It's very cathartic, and you know, healing is important. It's an important part of, I think, what you're doing here too, you know, on many different levels, like not only being the hero to help, but like to be the hero for yourself. You know, healing can change things. So like maybe it's really fun, you know, like doing ice-breaking exercises and things, that tools that people can think about how to use to get into deeper, darker parts. It's not always for everybody, and you can take it or leave it, you know. Like some people might be really afraid to unlock parts of their emotions like that, you know. But I don't know, I was just thinking that could maybe be an interesting Zoom community building thing, to have some acting exercises and tools to take out.
Vel, would you be willing to lead that?
How did I know? How did I not know you were gonna say that? I could look into it. I don't fully feel confident that I could lead an acting class.
I feel super confident that you could lead an acting class.
What was that?
That's interesting. So Andra just mentioned that we have the full list of journey challenges. All these videos are done, and they've been done for the majority of the year. We've only put one out, so we're going to put another one out today. But what I could do is we could share with you the entire list for you as an acting expert, and be able to go through that and see how your model connects to that model, and then potentially
each hero can host a training on that specific journey.
Here's Andra, so she can talk.
So I can talk. So we have the list of challenges, but it would be great because you're already part of the cast, so you can go through it and practically train other heroes, because I've seen your video. I've seen your training video, you know? So you know how to do it. So having one of these Zooms hosted by our own heroes can actually be something also. And one more thing just before, because I don't want to hold too much, everything that you're saying and what Pierre said and you reminded me of the metamorphosis phases of developing, like for a butterfly. And I'm looking at all of us that are part of these communities into butterflies, because it's like planting the egg and then going through this process, we're gonna transform. And yes, you're now a hero, then you're a villain. It's so beautiful, and I'm amazed. And also what you said, I think Pierre, and Jen and you, Avel, it's seeing the systemic problem behind the person and the actual cause of it, not the effect. So as a community, to be able to handle that and fix that is huge. So yeah, it's great. We'll figure it out, but it's awesome, Avel.
Cool, thank you.
So yes, would love it if you would step up for and this actually connects to a few. Yulong just had to leave, but and we're gonna end in a moment. But essentially, we're gonna have. And I'd love to be planning this out with everybody. Again, every 2 weeks, at the very least, we're going to be doing these. We'll do a walkthrough, and we'll do a hero meetup where we just kind of come together and have these ideation sessions. But I think that additionally, we're going to have panels. So a panel or a workshop that's very specific to your skill set, Avel. With the training and guiding people toward accessing their inner power from a performance standpoint as an actor. I think that's going to be a huge deal. So let's please set that up. We also have coming up a real life superhero. And I see you, Vengeance. So 1 second. But we have a real life superhero talk that's coming up because we have multiple cast members that are actually real life superheroes. And so they're at least 3 of them are going to come together on a panel and talk about their journeys and how they're tying their narratives into the JFH narrative, which is, or should I say, our shared cinematic universe, which is pretty cool. You know, that's really cool. And additionally, Yu Long is going to run his own panel, talking and kind of guiding us through some of the training that he's done, living and training in China, with some very esoteric masters of breath work and visualization and martial arts movement. So yeah, well, let's set these up, and in the coming weeks, I would just love, we'll make sure to get the message out. But before any more ranting from me, Vengeance.
All right, so I had like a few questions about like the app. When the JFH app comes out, right? Or when you mean by like uploading and stuff, are we gonna be doing like the shows based off the characters, or just anything like that, like a series or just something like that?
So there is a series, and I think oftentimes we haven't emphasized it that much. Avel's actually Elixir's in our episode 1 in character. So I'll say that there is a series. We're about 4 episodes into to cut like fully completed episodes, and we're going to release episode 1 this coming week. We said that we were going to release it this past week, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, I'm a New Yorker. We're all in Burbank right now because there's a big part of what we're doing is just expanding JFH as a platform. But the series obviously is a catalyzing force, similar to what Pierre was talking about, to getting to moving the story forward, and which essentially helps to pull all of us as characters along. So yes, there's a series. The journey challenges help you make your own mini movie that essentially will help us from again, out of character, speaking from as a producer, that will help us identify heroes and stories that we can feature within the series proper, that is produced on cinema cameras, with it's just a different tier of production. And that's not saying that it's better or worse. It's just that the center line of what our story, our narrative, the trunk of the storyline, is around the concept of this app. So, and it's in the story, it's about the app, and so in character, it's about the app. Out of character, it's still about the app.
Yes, the content from the app
So,
that will get into the series.
yes, so exactly. So answering your question, Andra said the content from the app, yes, is going to go into the series, and that's the latest trailer that you'll see. Is a great example of how we're putting things together. It has both the premium kind of cinema camera grade shoots that have been done, which have casted characters from the community. Like, people have come from the community and they've performed, with us in front of the cinema cameras, etc. Pre-COVID, even during COVID, we actually did a couple of shoots up until September. But like right now, we're just in post-production on all of that stuff. We're 4 episodes in, and anything that you guys produce that gets uploaded to the app, as long as it follows certain rules, it's going to be canonical. So it's all a part of the same story. And then we'll be able to figure out from there, like, hey, this guy's story or this gal's story connects to this other story. Oh, wow, let's tie these 2 together. And then let's probably actually go and talk to these heroes and see if they can make content together so we can tie this even more into the series. So it's really about producing, lots of narratives together, like a shared cinematic universe should.
With the thing that I don't know her name, where she talked about like the Zoom call for like acting.
Elixir or Avel, out of character Avel, in character Elixir.
But with those Zoom calls, if there's like a way that I can like step in and like help out with that, like to help with like the acting stuff, I can do it. I've been doing it since like 2016. I even have my own team where we do like a lot of like short films and stuff. Currently, we're doing our 3rd season of Serpents, which is based off the RG comics and the Riverdale series. But if there's anything that I can do to like help out with like the acting classes and stuff, I'm down. I can do it.
Please.
Awesome, and please, Vengeance, please, can you either DM or message on here a link to that series? Because I'd love to check it out. What you guys are doing, I'd love to check that out in a heartbeat. But if there's anything else from anyone else, you know, I think this is productive as usual. You know, so grateful to have all you guys on here. And any last closing words from anyone?
Yeah, really,
Well,
go for it.
Go ahead, bro.
Nah, none. I mean, I've been here listening the whole time. Really, I just wanted to say that I look forward to seeing what each of you guys will do, because it's definitely going to inspire me and it's going to inspire everybody around my town and whatnot. So just keep it going, and then from there, I'm going to learn how to learn how to mimic, or not mimic, but really like inspire out of that. So I look forward to seeing what you guys are going to go ahead and do, and I'm here.
All right.
Thank you, man. Kid Ninja, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I had like one last question, but let's say, because I've been interacting with the universe for like roughly almost a year now, but I never really was a part of it until recently. And as I guess a rookie hero, how exactly would, let's say, new heroes decide to join? How exactly do you think we should, you know, develop a character and kind of catch up with the actual cinematic universe, so where what we say and what we do will be relevant to what's going on, and we don't actually feel left behind compared to the veteran heroes?
That is an amazing question. Thank you for that question. So the answer to that is simply that this universe takes place in real time. So we are from a cinematic universe, shared cinematic universe timeline. It's now, it's today, it's tomorrow. So time actually has a lot to do with this when it comes to a great influence on where the series is, because everything we've shot, aside from episode 1, actually, which was intentionally, which Elixir's intentionally takes place. Am I giving spoilers away? Apparently I'm giving spoilers away. Okay. So I'm not going to give a spoiler away, but what I'm going to say is, just to answer your question, is that wherever you are, when you start, you are at the right place. That is the simple answer. Because when you start your journey challenges, when you go through those 15 videos, that's all about you and developing your character. You come into the JFH narrative anytime you want to, by integrating yourself with the missions that we might give out, etc. So and you also have the power and freedom to surprise us, to essentially say, hey, look what I did. Because all JFH is really it's like Uber for heroes. You know, it's an app where people can hire a hero or become one and get paid. So that's really all it is. And it's that one unifying idea, centralizing idea, that allows pretty much any narrative to tie into what we're doing. You know, I mean, like we do have certain rules that's like, no, there are no real superpowers outside of like high, you know, it's very reality based, and that's why real life superheroes kind of, you know, have given us a lot of support, because it's very reality based, and reality does expand into like the esoteric, the lesser known arts, breathwork, visualization, intuitive arts. You know, these things are real, and some people, and there's a lot of science and data behind that as well. So it's, as long as no one's blasting fireballs out of their bare fingers and you know, or flying up in the air, you know, like then it's pretty much going to be canonical. And who knows, maybe, you know, several years down the line, maybe we do a crossover and it's like, hey, now people can fly. You know, when special effects become more integrated into the phone. But, you know, right now we're going to focus on reality-based stuff, and wherever you want to start, you're going to be totally fine.
Okay.
So, and a great example is Vengeance. Vengeance, he put his video out yesterday, literally. His first video came in yesterday, and people were like, because we had multiple cast chats going on, and people in multiple cast drafts are like, oh, whoa, okay, new hero, okay, respect. You know, that was Devil Shocker's like quote was like respect. You know, so it's like he just came on yesterday, and that was like he raised the bar for hero intro videos like literally last night. So thank you for that, Vengeance, and thank you, Kid Ninja, for that great question, and thank you everybody for yet another great hero meetup. I'm so happy that we're back on schedule with all this stuff. So thank you guys. And DM, if you have any questions, you know, we're always here, always available. Sensei Claus, thank you again. If you guys are, like I said, want to help out with him, message if you're in the New York area. And we love you guys, and thank you for your time as usual. And you guys being here is massively inspiring to us doing what we're doing, because it takes a lot to fuel what we're doing. So thank you guys for inspiring, that inspiration fuel. Love you. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Cheers, guys.